Let's try this again because I filmed this entire video and it was out of focus. Hi YouTube, it's Kathy and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for January 27th to February 2nd. This week I read 3 books, I watched 2 shows, and I listened to 2 books. First this week I finished Spook Country by William Gibson. I picked this up to fulfill the oldest book on your shelves challenge for Read Yo Shelves, and that's honestly the only reason I finished it. I could tell the writer was building up to something, but when I picked this up I had no idea it was the second in a series, and since this is the first Gibson I've ever read, obviously I haven't read the first one. The talk of technology was intriguing because some of it surpasses what we have and other parts were antiquated, like flip phones. I slogged through this one, which was just not for me, but if you want to hear me talk more about it, I did do a reading vlog for the 24 and 48. Just before January ended, I read Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is a fairy tale inspired prequel to Alice in Wonderland concerning Catherine Pinkerton, the noble lady who is destined to be the Queen of Hearts. The problem is she doesn't want to marry the king. She's been dreaming about opening her own bakery with her friend for ages, but because she's nobility and a woman, that doesn't seem possible. Some days she believes as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast, so you never know. The love interest in this book is pretty dreamy, and I enjoyed that it drew from nursery rhymes to fill out the world. If you're a fan of retellings but haven't read Heartless, I highly suggest putting it on your TBR. Finally this week I read Once Ghosted, Twice Shy by Alyssa Cole as a buddy read with Mel from Mel to the Any. And everything about this experience was delightful. Firstly, if you haven't come across Mel yet, she's new to booktube but is fairly well known on the bookish internets, and is just such a lovely human being. I was so happy that she saw that I planned to read this for Valentines and suggested that we buddy read it together. I'll link her channel down below. You're welcome in advance. This novella concerns Litsy, a well-dressed woman who works for a prince, and Fabiola, an accountant slash jewelry designer who she meets on a dating app. They had a good thing going last spring, but Fab suddenly cut her off, which hurt Litsy deeply. Litsy's just decided to take a day off and forget about Fab when she walks right back into her life. I'll admit that it took a couple of pages for me to like Litsy, just because she seemed extra whiny in regards to her heartbreak in a way that delayed my sympathy kicking in. As soon as Fab popped onto the page, though, I wanted the best for both of these people. The story is compelling, the romance is swoon-worthy, and the sexy times are hot. You don't have to have read the rest of the series to enjoy this novella. This week my roommate and I watched a couple more episodes of Better Call Saul. We ended on an episode that was so impactful that it could have been a season finale if it weren't for the fact that it was the 6th episode of the 3rd season. My friend and I also finished watching the 8th season of The Walking Dead. There's a significant character death and introduction to a new character, but we are unable to Google why that actor left and who this new actor is because they look familiar, because that is just asking for spoilers. This week I listened to In the Unlikely Event by Judy Blume. This microcosm of a novel was inspired by real-life plane crashes that happened when Blume was young, but all of the characters are fictional. If pressed to identify a protagonist, that would be Mary, a Jewish girl who is being raised by her single mother and grandmother, but this piece is a collection from stories all over that town, interwoven and picked apart by tragedy. There's so many moving pieces, but I still found myself wanting to know how every story ended. Hard times, family drama, heartbreak, and hope are just a few of the things you will find in these pages. The other book I listened to this week was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I can see why this was super popular a few years ago, and am frankly surprised that I got to it without being spoiled first. This book is about a husband and wife on their 5th anniversary. The husband comes home to find the house in disarray and his wife missing. What follows is his side of the investigation interspersed with his wife's diary entries, giving a picture of their life together before this tragic event. For those of you who have read it, you know that's about as far as I can go without getting knee-deep into spoilers. Some people think that even saying there's a twist is a spoiler, and if that's you, look away or mute this for 2 seconds. There are tons of twists. Both Nick and Amy were writers before they lost their jobs, so they are masters of language. This book has triggers for brutal language and events, amongst other things, so if that concerns you, I highly suggest looking up a full list of trigger warnings. This book was successful at manipulating my emotions more than once. That's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!